Well, good evening. Hi folks. How's everybody? What's happening? Hope you all got your Dantes today. I didn't get mine. How frustrating. Even Robert, even Nathan, Joel, Campbell. What's happening, guys? I'm going to start by getting some transfers ready again. I got these Blade Guard finished. Near enough finished, I guess. So transfers to begin with. I might use I might use something off the Forge World sheet, because why not? James Richard, good evening. Did I see the sun set on Thursday? No. Is there like I think there was like some sort of eclipse or something, wasn't there? I don't think Royal Mail screwed me. I think Games Workshop barely made me send Element Games barely any Dantes, right? I've been hearing stories of Games Workshop not sending out as many to people, or however you want to say about it. I have heard that there's a thing that's been happening. So like resellers aren't getting as many. Guess I didn't get mine. What's up, then? How you doing? I need to grab one of my older Blade Guard veterans to see what transfers I put on him. I put a red blood drop on that shoulder, I put the black Blood Angels logo on that shoulder, I put that weird camp page badge there, and that's it. 3 transfers then, okay. So that's roughly what we'll be doing. Yeah, Andrew, good evening. Flowbrain, what's happening? Joseph, good evening. So let's start up here. So now that Land Raiders can carry anything, they haven't quite said exactly what the restrictions might be, but we're going to get Primaris inside Land Raiders. You're going to be able to disembark and charge after the Land Raiders moved, right? Because that's the whole point of the assault ramp. You can disembark and charge because it's got an assault ramp. So Land Raider can move forward 10, you can disembark 3, and you can charge. Am I wrong here? Am I right? Robert's painting up the Indomitus Ancient and it's kicking his ass. What's the Indomitus Ancient? I can't even think what the Indomitus Ancient looks like. I was wondering if I could convert one of my Blade Guard Ancients, because I think I've got like 3 of them. I wondered if I had like a Storm Shield I could use. I think I'm going to have to buy another squad of Blade Guard. But I think my point is... that I think Blade Guard in Land Raiders is going to be pretty good. Repulsor might have the Repulsor might have an assault ramp as well. But if the Land Raider still has a better armor save, like a 2-up, because the Repulsor obviously has a 3-up, then I think the Land Raider is going to be the better option. Crispy Delicious, what's up? Stuka, what's happening tonight? How you doing? The Blade Guard Ancient. Oh, the corpse on the stick guy. Yeah, I never made one of those guys, honestly. I can disembark my Grey Hunter, shoot, then re-enter the transport. I haven't heard that, but I did hear that they said there might be the possibility of re-entering a repulsor if you get charged. So that's interesting. Are you ever going to get a craft knife? What is a craft knife? I mean, do I not just prove that you can do the hobby with crappy utils? Because my stuff looks pretty good, and I use all the crappy utils, right? I mean, I only really use the Stanley knife for cutting out transfers. I don't use that for, like, mold lines or anything. I'm not insane. Good evening, Clint. How you doing? Assault Terminators and Land Raiders seems decent. I just think you're possible. If Blade Guard only take up one slot, I think that's going to be more interesting than Land Raider, right? So where do I get red blood drops from? Was that them there? And I've used them all. It would have been like 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me see if I've got some red blood drops. I converted my ancient into a sanguinary priest with a chalice. I mean, that's a good idea as well. I thought I had one of these. Like, that's an old one. I thought I had one of these for, like, Death Company that maybe has, like, red blood drops. Maybe. I don't know why they stopped doing red blood drops. Right, I mean... That was the sheet you got with Dark Imperium, which was pretty decent, right? Because it had like golden, black, and yellow. Thing is, if I've got red blood drops, they're going to be so ancient. Aggressors charging out of Land Raiders. I mean, I assume aggressors are going to take 2 spaces, right? Whereas, like, Blade Guard might just take 1 space. I mean, Blade Guard... Yeah, look, okay, cool, I do have some red blood drops. They're on a super old sheet. That's probably why they look a little bit faded, but that's fine. Thought I had a Death Company one. You can do... I tried to freehand a blood drop the other week, and it's not bad, but it's not good either. Oh, cool, look, I got a few red blood drops, actually. These ones at the top here. I guess once these are gone, they'll be gone for good though, because you ain't getting a replacement to these. Man. This one says 1993, this one says 1994, 1994. These are probably older than a bunch of people in the stream. They're 30 years old. Evening Material Witness, good evening Paws, how you doing? Centurions and a priest charge... Well, I mean, anything can charge out a Land Raider. If Blade Guard only take up 1 slot, that's going to be the most interesting thing, though. Because I think Blade Guard are going to be really good. I think they're going to... Like, Terminators went down a lot in points, but Blade Guard didn't. So I think Blade Guard might be quite cheap. I mean, I might be wrong on this. I think Blade Guard are going to be good. Yeah, we'll take this red one. This one will need like about a litre of water to get it to move off the transfer sheet because it's literally 30 years old. But I'm sure we'll get it to move. That was the year that you were born, Robert. There you go. A Spartan could be good. I mean, the Spartan could be good for sure. It's hard to say how the shake-up will go, but I mean, if the shake-up's interesting, I think the thing that's going to possibly be the most interesting is honestly going to be Blade Guard. So that's why I'm finishing here. I got 2 Blade Guard, and I'm really thinking I might buy another box of Blade Guard. I'm going to wait to see the rules though, but like Blade Guard are high on my list. Blade Guard will definitely only be 1 space, says James. Power armor always has 1 space. Altering it would be unnecessarily complicated. Well, in that case, you can get 16 Blade Guard in a Land Raider. That seems like a lot. That's like, if you can have 3 squads, you could have 3 squads of 4, each joined by like a Blade Guard lieutenant, or whatever it is, the lieutenant with the storm shield and the pistol. That would give all those Blade Guard the ability to get like bursting 6s, right, from the lethal hits ability the lieutenant has. They would also be able to get fall back and charge. I mean, I'm liking the sound of that, right? And they're like impervious. You just get them up the battlefield for free, and then you charge from your assault Land Raider. Assault Land Raider. Your Land Raider Crusader. Hey DTM, how you doing? I'm older than only than those old Blood Angels transfers. Good evening, Stuka. How are you doing? Mighty Brush does pre-cut blood drops in any color. That's good to know. I mean, when I run out of those red ones, I'm going to need to find somewhere I can get more of them. Any hopes for our Blood Angels detachment, says Brant. Meaning, what will we get instead of Oath of Moment? I think, Brant, and I'm probably wrong, I think there might only be, like, 4 Marine detachments. Kind of like Sisters only got 4 detachments in 9th edition, so I don't even know if we'll... Like, if there's a Blood Angels detachment, I don't even know if we'll get that. I think it might just be like, hey, there's a melee Space Marine detachment. Like, I'm not sure that's going to actually be a Blood Angels detachment. Like, I guess, like, I think that's maybe reserved for the actual Blood Angels codex, but for this generic first release of 10th edition, how's Dante looking? I wish I knew Fox didn't get him today. He has not been dispatched. Games Workshop obviously didn't... I don't know if they're still having stock issues or whatever, but a bunch of places have not yet dispatched the Dantes. Not a bunch of people got them yesterday, which I don't get, because like there was an embargo where like you're not, same as video games, you're like not allowed to post them out early or sell them early, because the store in where I live, my city, if you order from that store, they won't, even if they get it in on the Friday, they won't give you it on the Friday, right? You can't go and pick it up, you know. It's even been before where like the store would be closed on a Saturday, and they're like, no, you'd have to pick it up on the Monday. That's why I don't order from the place in town, because I was like, well, that's... I mean, technically, I guess he's not breaking the embargo like some other places did, but I saw like a bunch of people posted that they got it yesterday. I'm like, well, they're not supposed to give it out till Saturday, right? Centurions do count as 3. Gravis count as 2, so you could get quite a lot of aggressors in a Crusader. But I just think you might be able to get a shit ton of Blade Guard in a Crusader, and if we agree Blade Guard are like, if they're the same points as Sangry Guard, and they do the same damage, basically, because they're, I mean, the shooting's kind of irrelevant. It's not so relevant now that Sangry Guard get a bunch of free Infernal Pistols, but it was before that. I'm not even sure there'll be any change to detachments at the start of 10th. I think the current detachments combo won't work. Like, they already talked about that Oath of Moment detachment on their Twitter feed or their Facebook feed or their Warhammer community. Like, I think, like, the Oath of Moment is like the standard Marine detachment with combat doctrines. I imagine any other Marine detachment are not going to have combat doctrines. So like, having releases on Saturdays is so stupid and pointless. Had a tournament today and I could not use my new dice or Dantes since the hobby store is closed on Saturdays. Yeah, I mean, Saturdays is probably not the best day of the week to do it, to be honest, Anton, because like you said, yeah, if you've got a tournament on pre-order day, then you can't even pick them up. And I try and do like my weekends, like that's my family time. So like, not having stuff on a Saturday would actually be better for me, because I guess maybe I'm the minority, right? It is, I mean, I very much doubt they're going to change the pre-order date. It's Saturdays, and Saturdays is the pre-order day. I don't see why the Land Raider couldn't take jump packs if Impulsor can. The Land Raider can take jump packs, they just count as 2. Royal Mail delivers some parcels on Sundays now. Stores are closed on Saturday. Sometimes they are. You know, like if there's like staff holidays or I mean, if it's a local independent store, people do tend to have holidays. You know, like if it's not a big store that has multiple employees. The store in my city is pretty small. So yeah, there's definitely been times where I've rocked up on a Saturday and it's closed, and I'm like, oh, you know. Just dropped in to say hello. Hi Rez, how you doing? Did you get Dante today? Or were you one of the unlucky ones that's going to have to wait? Nathan says, I'm wondering if company veterans will continue into 10th and how they will work if so. I mean, individual squads. Are those Horus Heresy Blood Angels transfers? I had some up on the screen earlier, yes. And I use the Horus Heresy transfer sheet all the time. I actually really dig it. If you've never bought a Horus Heresy transfer sheet, it is expensive. But I mean, you get a lot of transfers on it, and so it'll let you do a lot of things, and also you'll be quite unique, because not many people will buy the Horus Heresy transfer sheet. And the thing is, I bought that transfer sheet although it's like £25 for a transfer sheet, maybe like $30 US, I don't actually know how much it is in US, but although it's that expensive, right? Like I bought that transfer sheet years and years ago at this point, like maybe like, I want to say like 4 years at least, probably. Like I think I bought it before I had any kids, and my first kid is almost 4, so yeah. Those transfer sheets last forever, so I don't think it's a bad investment to pick up one of the Horus Heresy transfer sheets for sure. These white campaign marks things annoy me though, how like the white doesn't align perfectly with the black line. So I'll probably have to go back and paint a little bit over the top of that to make that work. It's so silly that they don't align. But, I mean, that's what it is. Sellers has said he's been thinking about the Angels of Death Codex rumor. I mean, I'd forgotten about that Codex rumor, Sellers. That's a good point. So maybe that's where that all stemmed from, is like, you know, there'll be an Angels of Death Codex because there's less rules for the chapters or whatever. They can do sort of mixed codexes, or mixed codices, I guess is the correct pronunciation of multiple codexes. Evening Juan, good evening, how are you? The Flamers become better. I don't know if Flamers have got better, because the Terminator's got a flamer, right? And we've already seen the data sheet for Terminators. So the firstborn Terminator with the heavy flamer, like the one you would get your one heavy weapon in your firstborn Terminator squad, or the new Terminator squad. They're not firstborn anymore. I'm sorry. Just the heavy flamer that's in that Terminator squad. It's just the same, right? Like it's D6, it's strength 5, it's -1, it's 1 damage. And it's got torrent, which I assume means auto hits. Because they haven't said exactly what the new rule torrent, unless they said it today, but like I said, weekends for me is usually family time, so if they post something on a Saturday or something, I usually miss it because I'm usually doing family, usually hanging out with my family on a Saturday. I mean, I don't miss it, I'll just catch up on it at the beginning of the following week. An Angels of Death book would work well for Rez. Yeah, I mean, I'd be cool with a new Angels of Death book. I have the classic Angels of Death book, and I even bought like a new copy of it just because mine looked like a dog had chewed it. I mean, a dog had never chewed it. It was just destroyed by me using it a lot. So I bought like a mint condition one on eBay just so I had the second edition Angels of Death Codex. I bet you in that second edition Angels of Death Codex there's some lore about Dante's new pistol. Do you know that? Let's check. Here's my chewed one. Look at the spine on this thing. That's been kept in good nick by like 12-year-old John, right? Oh yeah, it would probably actually have a war gear card. You guys remember War Gear cards? Okay, back in 2nd edition, it actually wasn't called the Perdition Pistol. Check this. It was just called the Infernal Pistol. It says, this weapon takes a few seconds to recharge after each shot, and it means that if it is used in hand-to-hand combat, then only the first hit inflicted each round in combat can be used with the pistol. Any further hits... I forgot you could even hit people in close combat with your pistols. So at a 6-inch range, if you're shooting on short range, which was basically 3 inches, you got +1 to hit. Strength 8, his damage was D3, it was -4. It used to have an armor penetration value of D6 plus D3 plus 8. The Infernal Pistol, says James. Yeah, it was the only Infernal Pistol in the game. It cost 10 points. And it literally says Blood Angels Commander Dante only. I liked these old War Gear cards, man. I mean, these ones could still be cut out of this book. What did you do? Did you just cut them out? Were they double-sided? Oh yeah, they're double-sided, and you've got like the lion's helmet here. The lion creates a dome of energy 3 inches around the helmet. Models within the force bubble receive a 4+ unmodified save. So the lion's helmet in 2nd edition is better than the lion in the new edition, huh? Oh well. He won't be bitter at all. Do you remember the old data sheets as well? They're fun, weren't they? Speeders had slow combat speed and fast speed, man. What did combat... I think slow speed, combat speed, fast speed? Look at the gorgeous whirlwind. The whirlwind could move 25 inches at fast speed? Say what? Say what? 25 inches? That seems a bit extreme, doesn't it? Ah, the old times, eh? Anyone remember vortex grenades? I do remember vortex grenades. They were basically like instant death, weren't they? If you got hit with a vortex grenade, that was it. You were just dead. There was no saving throw. There was nothing. That was just remove the model from the table. And I had a blast marker, but it always scattered. So sometimes if it just scattered badly into your own model, it was just like, it would just instant kill your own model. I just stuck a transfer into my finger there. That's good. You get it off. Get off. I think I left those ones too long before I turned them over. Alright, we'll try and put it straight onto the model then. Yeah, I forgot. I remember as well, plasma pistols used to take 1 turn to recharge after you fired them, so you had to throw like a little recharge token next to the guy. We should make some for 10th. Do you know what? We should make some for 10th. Those old War Gear cards look so cool. The metal turret on the whirlwind is so damn heavy. It had a metal turret and it could move 25 inches. What did I don't have my rulebook here for 2nd edition. I actually took my rulebook into the place where we play games for 2nd edition, because in my infinite wisdom at some point I thought like maybe we'll play a game of 2nd edition. I don't know if we ever will or what, but does anyone remember what like, does anyone remember what slow speed, fast speed, and combat speed actually did? I'm assuming it would be like reduce of chance to hit, but I don't remember. No, I'm going to try and put this. This one's going to be awkward, I think. Knee-pad ones can sometimes be a bit awkward. 3D War Gear card sounds cool. Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll see what the new cards look like. The scatter and vortex grenades led to some epic moments. Yeah, I don't think they'll ever bring back scatter templates though, because it was too difficult to place them. It just got messy. The virus grenade, was that I think it was the hallucinogenic grenade that was OP as well. If you had like an army that didn't have any protection against hallucination, which was like orcs for example, you could throw a hallucinogenic grenade into like them and they all start shooting at each other and they all just do batshit crazy stuff. The game was pretty interesting back then. Or maybe a better word would be pretty broken. The old rules sound cool. As well as cool as they were, Jacob, they also took like a week to play a single game, and yeah, it was there were certain things that just made no sense. It was you also got like you could also end up in a situation where like you were in a battle where you could never actually do any damage to the opponent. Like if he had a lot of armor and he killed all your armor first, and you just had guys with like guns and stuff, like you couldn't. It wasn't even like, oh, you only wound on 6s. It was just like, oh, you don't have enough armor penetration, so you can never ever do any damage to these tanks, regardless of what you're hitting them with and what situation it's in. And yeah, it became a bit of a mess. The old rules were clunky. Yeah, they were. I mean, there's always like something fun to talk about with them, but they were well, they're 30 years old now, so they were clunky, very clunky. I suppose we go back and play video games that's 30 years old and be like, oh, you don't even get to save here. You just, like video games 30 years ago, you just got like a code that you entered at the beginning of the level, and you had to remember that code. So if you got to level 2, it gave you like a 5-digit code. You had to write that code down because there's no save. You just had to start the game up and punch in the code like, hey, this is the code, and it would automatically load level 2. There's no persistence within your characters. It's the same sort of thing, right? Well, Riz doesn't think they're worse. I agree. I think they were clunky, the old rules. They were fun. They were fun at the time as well, but they definitely had a bit of clunk to them for sure. Yeah, this old red blood drop. This is the 30-year-old blood drop. It's not in good shape. A bit of it broke off just when I tried to pull it off the transfer paper. I'm still going to stick it on, and then I'll try and freehand over the top of it. So, who's got Dante? Do you know what? We'll do a poll here in 1 second. Find out who's got Dante and who's actually working on him. Or nobody got him. Let's see. Let's see just how bad the stock issues were today. Who actually got Dante today? Whoever got him on Thursday, whoever gave you him on Thursday, they're in big trouble. The was it? The embargo is today. You're not supposed to be able to sell them before today. I gotta be very delicate with this transfer because it's 30 years old. Yeah, that's good enough. I'll paint over it and try and give it a bit more definition. I'll have to paint over anyway because that's I hate those campaign ones. You know the campaign logos? They always go outside the border. I don't know why that is. But you're literally always gonna have to paint over that white shit because it's overlapping. I don't understand why. It's on every transfer sheet. Okay. So I need to do a tiny little bit of wash on my blade guard and then my blade guard are finished. 71% didn't get Dante? Really? Brian says this is on, probably get delivered on Tuesday. I think mine said the 27th, which is like Thursday next week? Okay, so a few people are getting them on Tuesday. Element said they'd be shipping yours on the 12th of May. Oh man, I ordered mine from Element like really early in the morning because Element's website was like all crashing on the morning, right? I'm sure you had problems as well, but like I think I got my order in at like 10:10, which I thought was kind of early in the grand scheme of things. But apparently 10 past 10 was late because they were out of stock. And I can't imagine that many people actually managed to order it before me, because like I said, the website was all crashing. So, I mean, how many did Element Games even get? Did anyone manage to make an order before 10 past 10 on Element Games? Or has anyone got theirs from Element Games? Anyone in the chat? They're usually really good. I mean, unless Games Workshop are just not sending them enough models now. And that's frustrating because one, I like using resellers because it supports them and they're cheaper, right? If you're buying a lot, it becomes a lot cheaper. I also bought a new spray can from Element Games. I'm trying out that Color Forge spray. I think I've mentioned it on the channel. The Color Forge spray is the spray cans are 25% bigger than the GW cans, and they're 25% cheaper. So that actually equates to like 40% better value. I got Mike a couple of cans to use on the boarding actions terrain that we just got for the channel, and he said it was fine. So I'm giving it a try now. He tried the lead belcher equivalent. I think it's called like Stormhawk Silver or something. So Mike tried that and said it was good. So I'm going to try out the white. I think it was called like Pure Matte White or something. Alright, I'll end it. So, very few people actually got Dante. That's crazy. I mean, I assume most people ordered them. Most people on this channel most people in this chat would order the new... Because, like, I'm one of the few people that don't like Dante's rules. Like, most people are like, yeah, Dante's good, he's fine. I'm one of the few people I feel like who I'm a stickler for, like, saying, like, he could be better. Right? Like, not... Like, a lot of people disagree with me on that. I hope the new Dante video I did yesterday gave some people some hope for the future of Dante, though. I was pleased enough with the video, because sometimes I wanted to like make a video that actually felt like there was some value to it, not just say like, hey, I think Dante's shit because, or I think he's overcosted because. Hey, Alex, how you doing? Atlas got his Dante today. Only 5 people in the chat today got Dante out of 43. Please hit the like button, guys. If you enjoy any of the streams, any of the content, now's the time to hit the like button. I'm gonna be here for a couple hours tonight for sure, just painting. Moving on to some Death Company that I want to finish before 10th edition. I mean, I want to finish everything I've got before 10th edition, but I'll never finish it. So. Yeah, I'm gonna paint a bit Death Company now. Okay, I sort of meant the question more in sense of like who had ordered him and was hoping for him today, but didn't yet get him. I mean, but that would have been a much more ugly question, wouldn't it? Oops, sorry. I mean, I could have asked a question like that. Blood Angel's Chaplain in Terminator Armor is questioning if you should get the new Dante model. There's no reason not to. If you're a Blood Angels player and you're going to be playing Blood Angels in 10th edition, I think you have to get him. Like, what would be the reason not to get him? I think the named characters are going to have like unique rules where they can attach to unique squads. So maybe Dante's one of the few characters that can get attached to Sanguinary Guard. I think it's going to be totally worth having him. Tell me why you wouldn't want to get him. Did I see the Picard finale? Yes, I did. I just finished it actually like 10 minutes before coming on stream, Gregory. And I think I liked how they finished with the exact same shot as the end of like All Good Things. But I felt a little bit lukewarm actually. I used to watch Next Generation with my dad, and he would have loved that, but he's not with us anymore, unfortunately. But also, like, when I finished it, I was just like, fuck, they should just make another Next Generation movie, shouldn't they? Like, if they're too old to commit to a series, can they not just do like one more movie? Because I really enjoyed. I don't know if I cared much about season 1 or 2 Picard. I mean, I guess I'm glad I watched them, but season 3 was good. No spoilers. Alright, we won't say anything else. But yeah, if you've not seen season 3 of Picard, it's good. It's worth watching. But yeah, they should make a Next Generation movie. Another one. They're making lots of new Star Trek content though. Apparently it's doing like it's going like MCU almost in terms of like they're just going to be rolling shit out every year. It seems like they just wrapped Discovery. Like, we're on the last season of Discovery. I haven't watched all of Discovery. It's not my favorite, but some of the other new stuff is pretty good, right? Did I see the Mandalorian final? Yes, I saw that as well. I guess we'll not do any spoilers. I can't say what I was going to say. Let's talk about them in a few weeks. So if you've not seen them, you've got a few weeks. Or maybe we can do a spoiler-filled episode over on the Grot's channel and talk about all that as well. I'm sure Mark's seen both, because he loves both. Actually, I don't know if he loves Star Trek. But I mean, he definitely loves Mandalorian. Did I watch House of the Dragon? Yes, finally watched it. I enjoyed that much more than I thought I would as well. Because the end, I mean, we can talk about then the last season of Game of Thrones being a bit of a train wreck now, because it was like 5 years ago, right? I mean, not quite 5 years ago, but it feels like a good few years ago. House of Dragon was very good, I guess. If you like Game of Thrones, but I suppose, like, did anyone like how Game of Thrones ended? I don't know if anyone did, but yeah, I would say House of the Dragon was worth watching if you've not seen it. So yeah, I think I've caught up on all the TV that I needed to for a little while, maybe. What's next? Like, what's on people's wish lists for the future? Why is a Blood Angel's Chaplain in Terminator armor a Warhammer World or limited edition model? It's a good question, really. I don't really know why the Terminator Chaplain was a limited edition model. I bought him when he came out. I mean, can you get one on eBay, maybe? I can't afford 40k models and all these subscription fees. Yes, I did actually say to my wife, like, you have to cancel some of the TV, what are they called, like the TV subscriptions, because like at one point we had like 5 of them and I just was like, this is fucking ridiculous. I mean, we don't even watch that much TV, why do we have like 5 subscriptions? So we're doing a thing now where we might activate one of them for a couple of months and then cancel it, catch up on everything that's on it, and then move on from there, I guess. Because there's too many subscription services. The one that we can't sort of cancel is Disney Plus, because my kids watch a lot of stuff on Disney Plus. But funnily enough, Disney Plus is like the cheapest, right? Which it is what it is. Stargate is returning, but I wonder if it will any good, says Gregor. I love Stargate, but Amazon didn't. I read some stats on Amazon Lord of the Rings series. I don't know if you guys watched that either. I did watch it. Apparently, it because it cost them like an absolute boatload, like billions and billions or millions and millions. I don't know how much it cost. It was I think it was the most expensive TV show per episode ever made or something. And they said that like typically retention for television shows is apparently 50%. So like if people started that first episode and watch the whole season, if they get 50%, they're pretty happy with that. Apparently that Lord of the Rings show only had 37%. So for all that money that they spent on it, it doesn't seem like it was totally well received, or a lot of people fell off. Why are Terminator Chaplains exclusive? I guess there's no reason there's no real reason there should be exclusive, but this is what I was trying to say. Like, I was talking a few months ago, like before we knew, I think it was before Dante had leaked, and I was saying, like, how much money do I need to try and save and put aside, right, for, like, you know, there's a 10th edition starter box coming, we know that. It'll be somewhere around, like, 150 maybe. We don't know exactly the price of the 10th edition starter box, but you could probably guess it's somewhere around 150, and then you'd have, like, well, you know, there was rumors for a while, like, hey, there's going to be new Sangre Guard, there's new Terminators, like, how much are these boxes going to cost? Some of the other new stuff is obviously getting put in, like, fear of missing out boxes, so I was trying to work out, like, when do we think some of these releases are going to happen, and when do we need the money for it, because, yeah, I think Valrak was saying that there's a rumored, like, second wave of Marine releases already. So if we imagine, like, the new box that's coming with the Tyranids is wave 1, apparently there's a wave 2 coming that's been rumored already. What's in wave 2? I don't know. When is wave 2? I don't know. That's all I've heard. I guess tonight's stream is all about Kirk or Picard. Do you know what? I feel really sad. That's something I feel really sad about. Is like, I loved Kirk, and I love. I mean, I don't know if I love the new movies that have Chris Pine playing Kirk, but I loved, like, Shatner as Kirk, and I guess what they showed with Picard was, like, they could have brought. Like, they can't do a Kirk season now, right? Because, like, I guess, like, Leonard Nimoy is dead. I forget the actor that played Scotty, but he's dead. So was Who Had Bones is dead. I feel like someone else is maybe. I think Sulu's still alive. Is the guy that played Chekhov still alive? I feel really sad that, like, because the new season of Picard just showed, like, how good it was to get all the original cast back and do something, and I guess that's what hopefully Amazon think about Stargate as well. Like if the cast are all alive and well and at a good age, a good enough age that they can still work. And let's face, like, Patrick Stewart's 82. I had to Google that this week because I was like, how old is he? If I'm that active at 82, I'll be well chuffed. Like, look at him. What a trooper. But anyway, it would have been great to see, like, Kirk and all the. I like the original 6 Star Trek movies. I guess 7 if you include Generations, but I think the original crew weren't really in that movie much except Kirk, right? But yeah, I feel really sad that they never had a chance to do that. And you know what? Maybe they can do it with AI. Because AI's taken over the world, right? Maybe they can just do. Maybe they can make a Star Trek 8 with, like, Shatner's just AI. How many people are just gone? Yeah, life catches up with you. First Contact is my favourite. First Contact was a good movie, wasn't it? I heard a quote a few months ago or a year ago that just is so true, and it's like, time marches relentlessly onwards. And I found myself saying that a few times about things, and it's so true. It's just like, if you don't make time for things as you get older, the time will just pass you by. Like, it's kind of scary, you know. Like, I'm very lucky in that, like, I made friends. Like, I have friends from 20-25 years ago, and we meet up, like, once every 6 to 12 months, and we hang out. But for, like, 10 years there, we never met up at all, and it was just like, we didn't plan to not meet up. It's just like, for 10 years we were doing our own thing, life catches up with you, and before you know it, like 10 years has passed, and it was like, holy shit, we've not. The only reason we saw each other was like someone got married, and then it was like, oh fuck, we should make it a thing to make sure that we're seeing our friends, because like time does just marches on. If you don't make time for things, you don't consciously think about it, you know, it's very easy to get lost. So there's a quote for you. If you ever think like, holy shit, it's been 5 years or something, someone says something like, wow, that was so long ago, you can just say, time marches relentlessly onwards. And it does, you know. You can never have that last second back, right? So what's people's thoughts on 10th edition? Like, is anyone like super unexcited? And at the other end of the spectrum, is there anyone super excited? I think where I land was I'm generally optimistic about 10th. I feel like 9th was better than 8th in terms of like balanced missions and secondaries and points updates, and the game just like slowly, the opposite of relentlessly onwards, the game going very, very slowly towards digital. So I think all that's good, and I think that's why I'm optimistic for 10th. It seems like now just every 3 years there's a new edition. I mean, it kind of makes sense, but it does seem like they've just got that mindset in their head now, where like every 3 years we're getting a new edition of 40k. I'm hopeful in buying a G-Freeze now. What's a G-Freeze? Darrell was hoping for a more Space Hulk, Blood Angels versus Tyranids 10th edition feel. It's been a while since we got a Space Hulk box set, huh, Darrell? We might get. I mean, you never know. There might be some promo art in that box set that is like shows off the Blood Angels against the Tyranids, or maybe there's, you know, like we got that Deathstorm box a few years back. Maybe we'll get an updated Deathstorm box. I think it was 2016 was the Deathstorm box, which was the Tyranids versus Blood Angels, right? Oh, balls, I don't have my phone on silent. I don't want it to be pinging all the way through the stream. Material Witnesses has been really looking forward to it. He's been playing Chaos Knights for 4 months and eager to see how they fare as well as my Angels. I mean, I think everything's going to fare better, right? And I think that's the whole point of them moving to like these much more universal special rules. Because universal special rules can be balanced much easier. Whereas I think like the rules that we have at the moment, which are more like, you know, Eldar have this one mechanic, and Space Marines have this other mechanic, and I don't know, AdMech have another mechanic. I think that's what they've struggled to balance with. Whereas, like, if Devastating Wounds, for example, is in all these weapons, and these weapons are just too good, then they can just tweak Devastating Wounds, and I think that's going to be so much more healthy for the game. And the fact that they can maybe tweak some of it digitally as well, without having to maybe say, like, oh, well, we need to wait for a new chapter approved season, or we need to wait for a new book to go out. If it can be tweaked digitally, I'm thinking that's going to be way better. I hope it's going to be way better. Helen says, I'm excited. I'm more excited than any edition, but I'm always apprehensive about simpler, not simple. Yeah, I mean, I'm a little bit apprehensive about that, to be honest, as well, Highland. It does seem in some situations already we're seeing that simpler just means like things are getting cut or things are getting drastically simplified. My question, for example, here's a good question for you, Highland Phoenix. In Carmite weapons, like you saw what they've done with like the Combi Melta, I think, or they're maybe just calling it a generic Combi weapon now. So a Combi-weapon is no longer, at least from my understanding from what I read, it's no longer like a flame or a plasma. It's just called a Combi-weapon. And then I think like the power sword or the power weapon that the new Firstborn Terminator has, or the new, I keep calling him the Firstborn Terminator, he's not Firstborn, just the new Terminator has, is the combat weapon is, sorry, the power weapon is just a power weapon, right? So like your Terminator Sergeant, it's just called a power weapon. It's not called a power sword, it's not called a power axe, it's just called a power weapon. So I guess my question is, like, for example, Sanguinary Guard. Do you think they're just going to have Incarnate weapons? And Incarnate weapons will be, like, one of the two. Like, it'll be the sword or the axe. But there's no real choice there anymore. It's just like, that's what Sanguinary Guard have. They just have Incarnate weapons, and Incarnate weapons are, you know, they'll just have one profile. You won't be able to choose, yeah, you won't be able to choose basically like more AP or higher strength or vice versa. It'll just be one profile. I think characters' intent will be more unique and powerful, says Clint. I kind of get that feeling as well, Clint, that because characters are going to join squads, they're going to buff less units, so therefore they're going to be stronger. So your squads with characters in them will be like more worthwhile protecting or something, or you're going to feel really valuable about them, and that might actually add some tactical depth, which I think is a good thing. So I kind of think that'll be interesting, but it'll be interesting to see how that shakes out. Atlas thinks that the Sanguinary Guard will just have basically mastercrafted power weapons. Do you know what? I think they'll still call them Incarnate weapons. I just think they'll have one profile for them. But you're right. I mean, I suppose they could just be, because I think when, do you know what? Based on like people getting really excited about them bringing back Dante's named pistol, I don't know if they're going to want to cut named weaponry and make that simpler. But I do think they'll simplify the data sheet, so it's just like an Incarnate weapon is just this. There's not going to be axes and swords. It's just going to be, this is the profile of an Incarnate weapon. That's what I'm expecting. I think that's what's got some people worried, right? Some people aren't going to love that, I guess. We don't need 100 plus weapon profiles in every codex as DTM. I think that's correct as well. I guess people just like customization, DTM. So some people see that in a quite negative light, I guess. I think I'm okay with it. I mean, I'm not sure I love it, but like I said, I think I'm okay with that if it means that like the ultimate goal is that the game is more balanced. Because balance in the current edition has, in my opinion, has been pretty poor. Some armies will need some new leader characters though, and the removal of auras, jetpack characters for sisters, for example. Yeah, I suppose sisters won't really have anyone that can lead their jetpack units, unless sisters' jetpack units are not meant to be as strong as they are, and they kind of just got too strong, sort of, by I like customization, but I only have so many swords from my Sanguinary Guard. Yeah, I mean, that's another thing that annoys people, right? When you like buy a squad of guys and it's like, oh, you don't get enough weapons to make the loadout that you want from the box, and that'll be interesting to see how that's addressed as well, I guess. Oh well, there's a reveal stream next Saturday morning at 9 o'clock. I am half tempted to stream it live. I'm just trying to work out, you know, like, if it's the Warhammer 40k stuff and it's kicking off straight away and it's just like an hour or a half hour, then great, I might stream it live. I don't know how long it might be, and I have some plans with the kids for next Saturday, so I kind of want to stream it, but I think they kind of said the Warhammer thing is going to be first. So if they confirm all that this week, then I might stream the reveal. I think the reveal next Saturday morning is going to be the 10th edition box set, like all the models. Like, I think we kind of know what's inside it, inside the box. But I mean, I think they're going to clarify it, and I don't think they'd give. Would they give the price? Do they give the price on the launch on their streams? I don't know. They usually don't go more than an hour. I think it's because they're releasing like they're doing one of their streams where they're covering tons of different stuff, right? But yeah, if they're starting with the 40k stuff, I'll see. I might stream it. Using on RTT on Saturday. Yeah, I mean, that was what we were saying earlier about them doing all the releases on Saturdays. I don't know if I agree with the Saturday release cadence, but maybe it's maybe a distribution thing. It's like they can get stuff in the store's hands on Saturdays, so that's the way it works. Skip the stream and just wait for Auspex to summarize everything. I mean, he does do that very well, doesn't he? I guess the stream would be to more just hang out for a little bit in the morning. I mean, probably it would just piss my wife off if it's 9 AM, because on a Saturday I'm supposed to help with the kids' breakfasts and stuff like that. Oh well, maybe we can do maybe we can go over the reveals on Saturday night. That's maybe what we could do. Most American people will be sleeping at 9 AM unless they're insane enough to wake up for a 5 AM or 3 AM stream. What's the point of a combi-weapon without the specific adaptations? Might as well just have the Stormbolters and chill with what you see is what you get. I think the point of it, I could be wrong here. I think the point of it is to make like it. So, let's say you have a squad of guys right now with like all different combi weapons. I guess the point of them maybe all having the same profile just means that it's not going to take like 10. You don't have to look up, oh, there's a combi plasma, give me 1 second, let me decide if I'm going to shoot the plasma on high power. I am going to shoot the high plasma on high power. Okay, then it's a combi flamer, let me decide if I'm going to shoot both barrels with the flamer because the flamer is auto hits. Oh yeah, I am going to shoot both barrels. I guess the idea is just like, hey, I've got 5 combi weapons, these hit you on 3s, go. Right? So like, that's what they're trying to do with the rules. As opposed to, so like they said, simplified, not simpler. I mean, I guess you could argue that is simpler. I guess you'll be able to argue a lot of things is simpler in the coming days, weeks, months, whatever. But I guess what you've got to see, or what they're trying to, I mean, you don't have to see it, but I guess what they're trying to make you see is that, like, if they streamline some things that aren't super important, like, let's say, for example, combi weapons having like 5 different combi weapon profiles. I mean, how many combi weapons are there at the moment? There would be the flamer, the grav, the plasma, the melta. Is that it? 4? I may be missing one, I can't think. But yeah, I guess the point that they're trying to make is like, they just want the whole stuff like that to be much quicker, because they don't think it really impacts on the game all that much, maybe. And I guess that's kind of like, in some ways, that's kind of like, it's an epiphany for like what a Primaris squad is, right? Like, where it's like, you have your Primaris squad, for example, like your Incursors, and there's no customization. You have your Primaris squad, the Outriders, and there's no customization. So it's like, when you go to attack with Outriders, you just throw all the dice at once, right? Because like there's no customization. Blade Guard Veterans, there's no customization. I mean, I guess there's customization and the Sergeant can take a pistol. And I think in some ways it's weird, right? Because like if you think about Firstborn Death Company versus Death Company Intercessors, well, fucking everybody hates Death Company Intercessors. Why? Because there's no weapon options, there's no customization. So I guess you're gonna have to take simple / simpler, whatever they're calling it. You're gonna have to. I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but I hope you get my point, in that like the game is gonna be different significantly. And I think whenever a new edition comes out like this and changes things, you'll get some purists, or you get some people that will be like, well, I like 9th edition, so I'm not going to play 10th. My gaming group doesn't think 10th's very good, so we're just going to play 9th edition. And we'll play that for 3 years, and then we'll have a look we'll either have a look like a year down the line when some codexes are out, or we'll have a look when 11th edition. So I'm just telling you what I think, what I feel is coming. I guess we're gonna find out, and it might be a shock or it might be great, but I'm gonna move into 10th regardless, right? Like my big hope is that 10th is more balanced, because they had been making progress. I mean, I still hate their Goldilocks zone system, because I think the margins are way too wide. Like I think a 55% army against a 45% army is typically pretty wide. But as long as they're working on that, I guess I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt, and I'm going to play the new edition, right? Seller says he's never liked the current edition. He's got 3 armies and they've always felt weak. Yeah, I mean, Blood Angels have never been on the top of the pile in this edition, but I don't know if I go as far as to say they're weak. Metas, I guess Metzer, good evening. I'm not going to try and pronounce any more of your name. I have no idea how you pronounce that. I'm generally bad at English anyway, so if someone's got a crazy spelled name, I'm just like, yeah, I'll butcher it if I try and say it. My buddy got me into 40k, and he thinks he wants to continue 9th, especially if 10th lacks a lot of customization. I mean, there's going to be less customization, but I think the rules will be more balanced. So I guess, like, if you are happy playing 9th, which in some matchups is pretty broken, right? Like, I went to multiple tournaments in 9th edition, and multiple times in 9th edition when I lined my arm, like, before I even got to the table, right? Like, it's like, oh, you're drawn against Sisters of Battle. I'm like, well, fuck, I've lost, right? Like literally, I've lost this game before we even place a single model down. I remember in one of the games thinking, I'm playing Sisters of Battle, their whole army's minus 4 EP, I have 1 4-up and 1 save in my whole army, it's Dante for example, or it's my chaplain on a bike. So basically any of his units hit my armies, I'm not getting any of my other units, I'm not getting a saving throw. So I don't get to throw any saving throws for 99% of my models this game. I know that's 100% happening. He can guarantee charges, he can like give full rerolls to hits and wounds. I'm thinking to myself, I go first, the best thing I can do here is like Forlorn Fury, my death company, into a squad of retributors and kill all 10 of them and consolidate into like another unit. So basically like kill one unit, wrap up another unit so it has to fall back so it can't shoot me or whatever. And this is the best thing that I can do. This is there's nothing I can do better. This would be the perfect start for the game for me. And I went first and I managed to do that. The exact thing I wanted to do. Charge the death company into the squad of retributors, mop them all up, consolidate into another unit of battle sisters, so basically he can't shoot me and he also has to fall back, and I still get beaten in the game. And it's just like, wow, literally the best thing in the game that could possibly happen for me happens. I don't think I'm a bad player. I don't think I'm a great player, but I'm good enough player. A good enough player where it shouldn't be like, oh, you just can't win the game because this army has too much AP. Steven says you found a good commission painter. You inspired me to trust someone else, getting them to paint my models 80% complete like yourself and then take them along the finish line to match my army. That's how I like to do it. I like things to match. If I'm gonna use a commission person, I don't want anything to look like it doesn't fit my army or it wasn't painted by me. And someone said to me that he felt that I was cheating by commissioning, like you said, getting someone else to paint 80% of the model and then finish them up, transfer them, do the final highlights, whatever weathering, like it matches the rest of my list. And I was like, well, anyone can paint base colors. It's just a case of like, how much time do I have in a week to paint base colors? So I get 2 kids and I make YouTube videos every single week, so I don't have that much time. The 2 hours of painting that I do right now when I'm talking to you guys, and half the time I'm talking to you guys, and then the 2 hours that I do sometimes on a Wednesday or Thursday when I'm talking to you guys, it's the only time in the week that I get to hobby, unless like I have a day off work, or like maybe my wife wants to go out with both the kids, which happens once in a blue moon. The background music sounds like old Command & Conquer music. It's done by a guy on YouTube who has a very cool channel. If you want to ever check out any of his music, you can check out the video description. But it does sound a bit like old Command & Conquer. I love the old Command & Conquer games. All of them. Red Alert, CNC. I never played Generals much, but I did play it. Everyone should advance with the rules into 10th, because playing more games will help the game balance. That's true. I mean, if someone's desperate to stay on the old rules, Highland, I think we just let them. I mean, enough people will move forward. But I mean, like I said, I think there was some big problems with 9th edition. Some matchups were really, really skewed. And if you went to tournaments, like people like to win tournaments, right? So people typically don't take shit lists at tournaments. So yeah, there were some really skewed matchups that you would see in like lots of events, I guess, which is fine. People like to win tournaments, but at the same time, it can be frustrating if you're on one of those like low end armies for a long period of time, right? Wolfgang says angels aren't real. How harsh? Why are they not real? Like, you mean actual angels or you mean blood angels? Ninth edition secondary should go the way of the dodo. They were an absolute nightmare. Never felt like GW got a handle on them. They need a new system. Yeah, maybe they need to like make those secondaries more generic again. Like, so you don't have like some armies where it's like, oh, if you play this one army, you just have a secondary where you can get 15 points for doing nothing. That might be where this edition starts, DTM, where like everybody's playing the standard secondaries. And maybe there's a couple of new ones that are like a bit like retrieved Nachman data or battlefield data, I guess they're calling it now, right? So maybe there's a few more generic ones where like everyone can reasonably well do these ones. I think that would be a good shout, because yeah, the faction secondaries definitely, they didn't help with the balance when like one faction had really good secondaries and your opponent didn't. I know that they were supposed to be making those things like, I guess, essentially balanced, but they never quite got there. I would agree with that. Kane just ordered the new Dante model. I'm excited, but I'm going to miss the old one. He's such a recognisable model, even for non-Blood Angels players. I mean, he is, but he's so dated now. My Dante's actually metal. I know some people have the Finecast one, but my one is metal, and I think the new one's pose is reasonably close enough that people will know it's Dante. Like, the pose is close enough. I'm just going to snip off some of the texture paint that's landed on this guy's feet. James says he picked up the CNC remaster for £4 in the Steam sale a few months ago. It was well worth the nostalgia. They rescaled some of this cutscenes back up, James, didn't they? I was impressed with how good some of them look absolutely tragically bad, but some of them look pretty good considering they were made in like mid-90s when like video compression technology was absolute bollocks, I guess. I'm wondering, and I haven't heard anything about it, are they going to remaster some of the other old Command & Conquers? Like, could we get a Red Alert 2 remaster? Because I think Red Alert 2 was a game that a lot of people liked. I thought, was it Tiberium Wrath? Was that CNC 3? I think that came out in like mid-2000s. I thought it was pretty good as well, in terms of like the multiplayer anyway. I played that game a lot multiplayer. Metal Dante here, he's so damn heavy. You know, some of the Death Company I run are still metal. Good old Warhammer, huh? I remember at one point in Warhammer, like, everything was moving to plastic kits, and I remember thinking like, oh, I hate plastic kits. What's wrong with the metal ones? Until you had like a metal dreadnought and you dropped it and it literally broke into 1,000 million pieces. Tiberium Wars was 3. Yeah, Tiberium Wars was... Oh no. Tiberium Wars... Was that number 3? I liked that one, I think. I hope they remaster some of the other Command & Conquers. They're good for just like an afternoon of gaming, of pure nostalgia, and we used to play them at LAN parties a lot. They're pretty fun games to play at LAN parties. RTS was kind of my jam. I like RTS a lot. Weren't the Red Alerts incredibly funny? They were pretty good, yeah. I actually have an RTS YouTube channel. I guess probably nobody here knows about it, but I do a little bit of RTS in my spare time. It's like my other one. It's like my other one passion. I think it's because it's the same as it's the same as Warhammer, right? Like RTS is just, obviously Warhammer isn't strategy, but it's the same game, just real time, I guess, or however you want to call it. Yeah, Warcraft 3 is like one of the best. Jason, absolutely. I actually thought about that, like if Warhammer had, like, you can't play it real time though. Like the only way they could do it is if it was like alternative activations, which is what Star Wars Legion uses, right? And the problem with Star Wars, I think the problem, like if you wanted alternative activations in 40k, you'd have to make the battles like a lot smaller. Because Star Wars Legion is a much smaller game. Like you play 800 point battles, and I haven't played Legion in like 2-3 years now. But when I was playing Legion, it was like, oh right, okay. Battles generally still take quite a lot of time because it's alternative activations. If it's the same, you play Dawn of War. Age of Sigmar does alternative activations, does it? Okay, I didn't know that. Age of Sigmar battles as big as 40k battles? Or are they smaller? And did Sigmar always do that, or did they, like, is that a thing they've done since the first edition of Age of Sigmar? Yeah, you know, a few years ago I bought the Age of Sigmar starter set, but like I think I bought it maybe like the year before I had kids, because I was worried when I would have the kids that I wouldn't have any money, so I wouldn't be able to buy any more 40k or anything like that. My wife did actually say to me, she's like, when we have kids you're not going to be able to buy any models, and I was like, yeah, I know, but I've got so much on my pile of shame that it'll be okay. And I think I bought the Sigmar stuff thinking like, hey, if I ever finish my pile of shame, then I'll make this Sigmar stuff. But like, I just haven't even got close to it. I'm not even close to finishing my Blood Angels pile of shame. And if I was close to it, you know, there's other things I've got that I would do as well. But yeah, I'm not even close to it. I think the thing I missed was like before I had kids, I would paint like every night of the week. It might not paint for long, but like I'd probably do an hour every night of the week. So like over a course of like a couple of years, that would just add up like a lot. And then I have kids, and then it was like, okay, you just can't do that anymore. What was that question? White Dwarf published alternative activations for Fantasy Battle in the 90s. Okay. Yeah, no, I've never played a Games Workshop game like one of the bigger games with alternate activations. Do I know if the new Space Marine game will have co-op? I don't know anything about the new Space Marine game. I did reach out to them and say like, hey, I'll do a video reviewing it and demoing it for the channel. If you give, well, I mean, I think I maybe said I'd even pay for it, because normally if I reach out to these places, I'm not like a freeloader. I'm not like, hey, give me a free copy of your game and I'll review it. Usually, like I think I said that to Games Workshop as well. I said like, hey, if there's like if for the new Dante, for example, I'm pretty sure I reached out and said like, hey, I'll happily pay the money for it, like because I want it. If you send it to me early, I can do some content around it. But like, you know, I've reached out to a few places like that. I guess I'm still not big enough where people are interested, I guess. Or don't get enough views to make people interested. I believe Space Marine 1 had like deathmatch multiplayer. And I was gonna say, if typically, like, if you look at what they did with like that Star Wars game, EA, there used to be a game called Battlefront, like way in the early 2000s, like the Star Wars game, and it had a bunch of features, right? And then EA I guess, made it with the new studio, like, and they cut a lot of the features, and people were up in arms and complaining and very angry and etc, etc. So I feel like they'll probably have the deathmatch, because if they don't have the original game features, people will be mad. But I don't know if they've said anything about co-op. The Steam page will probably tell you if it can do co-op. Dawn of War is in the top 5 RTS games. I don't know. So what? A lot of people in here like RTS, do they? What's people's top 5 RTS games then? I didn't think there'd be much crossover between Warhammer players and RTS players, honestly. I don't know why I didn't think that. I just thought it was... I mean, you guys are right. Like, it is this, you know, it is the same thing, I guess. Just one is turn-based and one is real-time. Age of Empires 2, Highland Phoenix. Dawn of War got him into Warhammer. Warcraft and Starcraft is Jason. I like XCOM as well, which is turn-based. Like, I love XCOM 1 and 2. I like the old XCOMs, right? Like back in like the early 90s, mid-90s, maybe, for the old XCOMs. But the new ones they released in like the mid-2010s were really great as well. So I like the games that I usually play. I mean, I've played a bit of like MMOs over the years, but the games that I always fall back to are RTS, turn-based like XCOM sort of thing, and real-time strategy. Gregory's playing Stellaris. Do you ever play Master of Orion, Gregory? Because I love Master of Orion. Never actually played Stellaris. I probably have it. XCOM 2 is great, yeah. A lot of people apparently had like problems with frame rate and stuff on XCOM 2. I never had any problems with it. Like, I don't know if I just got lucky and my PC hardware was... Because my PC hardware, like when XCOM 2 came out, my PC hardware wasn't good. I got a new PC like about a year ago now, actually. And the main reason I got a new PC was because like I do video editing like every week, and that takes ages. So I got a new PC to make all my like video editing less painful, I guess. But when XCOM 2 came out, I had a terrible PC, but like I guess it just ran on my PC and it was fine. Whereas like I had heard horror stories of other people saying like, oh, it's crashing all the time, and I was like, well, I don't know why, but my PC's doing fine. Maybe I just had a sweet spot for the graphics settings or something. But yeah, I loved XCOM 2. It was one of my big favourite games. Slow played Warcraft 3 Tower Defense. Man, I played so much Warcraft 3 Tower Defense. What was your favourite? I like Cube Defense. Ager played Total Annihilation. I've never heard of Ben and Lewis Save the World. Was that Yogscast or something? So, I think those names ring a bell from like Yogscast. I actually have XCOM, like the 2010 version on my iPhone, and it's kind of amazing how, like, it's a full-on PC game on your iPhone, and I have like a half an hour walk to work. So if I ever want to just play a good round of XCOM, I can play it on my iPhone, which is kind of crazy, I think. Don't Take My Candle, says Jason. That's World of Warcraft, right? I was actually more of a Star Wars Galaxies player, so that was 2003 when I played Galaxies. I mean, I feel like at some point everybody played World of Warcraft. It was just so popular, right? I think Mark still plays. My wife plays World of Warcraft as well. I mean, she hasn't played since we've had kids. She was playing a bit before then. I guess it's just quite a casual game anyone can jump into. It's probably the advantage of it. Where's my EverQuest people at? I don't know. EverQuest is that's even before my time, right? The first EverQuest. What year did that was that out in the 90s or was that like 2000? I think I'm gonna play Diablo 4, by the way. I played the beta. I like the other Diablo games by Blizzard. I don't know if I take them very seriously. I know some people play the absolute living hell out of those ARPG games. I don't do that, but I did play Diablo 4. So if anyone wants to play Diablo 4, you can let me know. I mean, I'll be playing it. I'll be on Discord, so. And I'm going to play more Battle Sector. That's a good question. Yeah, I was a big fan of Diablo 2, actually. That was the one that I was into. Battle Sector... do you know what? So I played a bit of Battle Sector, and I thought it was fine. I played it on stream like 2 times, I think. And I guess I've still got my save game, but... and I really probably should go back and complete it. I prefer the gameplay from... The one that was with the Grey Knights. What was that called again? Demon Hunters? Chaos Gate Demon Hunter? Like, my save game in that is like way further progressed than my save game in Battle Sector. So yeah, I probably should do a couple of gaming videos at some point. I'm just always making videos. I always feel like I'm stretched a little bit thin in terms of like what videos to make. Honestly, it's quite a lot having 2 kids and trying to make like videos and trying to do everything, I guess. I need like 200,000 more subscribers, right? Which is gonna be impossible, but like that's what I need, and then I could quit my day job, and then I could just make videos all the time, and I could make more content. But yeah. That's the reality. That's the thing that will never happen. I think this channel can maybe get to 20,000 subscribers. Maybe. I mean, it grows like a couple hundred every month on month. So yeah, maybe you can get to 20,000, but I mean, I'll never get to 100. They'll never let me quit my job, basically. That's fine. Battle Sector just made me jealous of aggressors. Are aggressors that good in Battle Sector, are they? I kind of wonder if aggressors are going to get an invulnerable save. Somebody said in our live stream the other night about the Grots channel, said that they think aggressors are going to get some sort of bonus against 1 damage weaponry. Like, you know the strat that you get for them at the moment, I forget what it's called, unyielding in the face of the foe or something? It gives them a better save when they're shot by 1 damage weaponry. Someone said that they think that's going to be built into their profile. So aggressors won't have an invuln save, but they'll have like really good reliability against like 1 damage weapons. Like they'll be on a 2-up save or something. I think that could be cool. I think that could work because you would want them to be a little bit different from Terminators, right? To sort of be unique or something. But you also, they need to be a bit stronger than they are right now, I feel like. Because they're wearing that big thick Gravis, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense that it's the exact same armor save as like a power armor guy. And Terminator's armor just got much better, and their toughness got better, so... Hey, good evening, Mike. How are you? Gravis says he's put some projects on the back burner for a few weeks. I mean, sometimes I don't know how to manage it either, Gregory. It's just a case of, I think the way I see it, I guess, is like, I was gonna say, Blood Angel's Commander to me is like, I guess I treat it like a job, right? Like it's like a, like there's no option for me to not do it, if that makes sense. So I like, even if I wanted to go, like I'm going on holiday with my kids in the summer, I'm trying to decide like it's a serious decision for me, like am I just gonna have a week with no content on the channel, or I'm gonna try and make something for when I'm away, right? Like it's, for me it's very much like, the reason that I can get stuff out every week is that I treat it like a job. I haven't decided what I'm going to do. I might just take the week off and do no videos, or I might pre-record something small. I'll probably pre-record something small because I'll probably feel guilty if I don't have something out. But yeah, the reason I managed to get something out every week is that like it's just something I guess I take pretty seriously, and that's what works for me. I guess different things work for different people, right? Ager's got the new Dante. I didn't get my Dante today, Ager. A lot of people didn't get their new Dante today. We did a poll earlier tonight in the channel, and it was like 5 people in the whole channel. 5 people out of the whole people watching the stream had the new Dante, so it's like, what the fuck? I'm sure more than 5 people ordered them. I mean, a bunch of people said that they were going to get theirs on Tuesday. Apparently mine's not going to be here till Thursday. Someone said they're not getting theirs till the 12th of May. It's kind of crazy. So if you've got the new Dante, you should feel lucky about it. I think I did put the update up saying that the deadline on the painting competition has been moved back like a week. So if you wanted to enter Dante into our yearly, it's a yearly painting competition. Painting competition doesn't run very often. If you want to enter Dante into our painting competition, there are prizes for the best painted, obviously. Then you have an extra week, so I think it's the 12th of May for final entries now. So if anyone wanted a little bit more time so that they can make a start and get their Dante done. I had someone complain about the rules for the painting competition this week as well, because someone was like, this isn't the rules you should use for a painting competition. I'm like, okay. I wanted to make the rules better than they were last year. I wanted to make them fairer. I guess they didn't please everybody, so. Mike's didn't arrive, so both Dantes didn't, because you ordered 2 Dantes, Mike, right? Both of them didn't turn up? And were yours actually shipped, or they didn't turn up because like they haven't even been shipped yet? Frank got his today. Congrats, Frank. A bunch of people are waiting on stock. Gregory says they can do their own competition if they don't like the rules. Yeah, that's true, Greg. They totally can do their own competition. I was like, those are the rules that I made. They're fair for everybody. Everybody's got the same rules. Like, I'm not a business. I'm not going to be the perfect... I'm not, you know... I'm just doing this in my spare time out of my love of Blood Angels and the community we've built. So I guess if you don't like my rules for the competition, I guess... I probably should have just said then, if you don't like my rules, just don't enter the competition. There it is. Nice and simple. Everybody's going to play by the same rules, you know? Alright guys, I just got a few more minutes here and then I'm going to take off for the night. Got any final questions about Blood Angels, you can shoot them my direction. If you've got an army list that you want reviewed on the channel, then please send it over via community post. I was going to say, there isn't many army lists being submitted at the moment. I guess we're right at the end of this edition. So, not too many people are submitting army lists at the moment. So yeah, I mean, I guess if you've got an army list that you've been working on, you're going to take to GT, you're going to take to an RTT, or you just want 2 cents on the army list, then send it over to me in a community post. If you send it over within the next 24 hours, you'll probably be on tomorrow's show. If no one sends over any army lists, then I guess tomorrow's show will be short. I do have something, but not much. It's funny how that goes. It's like sometimes on the army list show, the queue is like, I think I had it before where the queue was like 3 months. Like I get so many submissions that you're gonna have to wait 3 months to get your army list covered on the show. But like now it's like, hey, you can be seen this week if you want. With how list building works in 10th, yeah, I mean it's going to be totally different list building in 10th, right? We're gonna get some real mad shit. I noticed that the dedicated transports have the limit of 6, so we may still see. There was a guy this year, I think it was LVO, who took a list which was 6 Terraxes, so he's good. He can still run his 6 Terraxes, so I guess he'll be happy about that. If Blade Guard can go inside a Terrax, that could be cool. 6 Terraxes, 6, maybe not 6 squads of Blade Guard, you wouldn't be allowed to do that. 3 of them full of Blade Guard. I guess 3 of them full of something else. Stern Guard? Sounds mad. I do think Blade Guard are really high on my my list of things that I think is going to be really good in 9th edition, in 10th edition. Sorry. I think it comes down to if they can go in transports and just take up 1 slot, I think they'll be really useful. Alright. I'm going to call it a night then, guys. Thank you so much for watching tonight. I hope you enjoyed the stream. Hope you learned something. I don't know if there was anything to learn in tonight's stream. I appreciate you guys hanging out every week, every time we're painting. You guys are here supporting me. It's much appreciated. I hope you enjoyed Dante's video. I hope you get your Dante, and I'd like to hear how people get on using Dante. I'm probably going to run them in a list just to say, or just for like sanity's sake, I'm going to run them in a 10th edition list. As soon as I get them, I'm going to try and get them painted quickly and run them in a list. Maybe that won't be this week, maybe that'll be next week. Roy says, we appreciate you, brother. Keep the content coming, we love it, but family comes first. It gets better, and before you know it, you'll be teaching your kids how to roll Feel No Pain. I do
Roy
think it'll be
Volker
cool.
donated CA $11 via Super Chat. We appreciate you, brother. Keep the content coming, we love it, but family comes first. It gets better, and before you know it you will be teaching the kids how to roll FNP for the DC.
Yeah, I mean, my little girl was in here today asking, she's like, Daddy, I just love paintbrushes. I was like, I love paintbrushes too, and she's like, you have a lot. I was like, yeah, I have quite a few paintbrushes. Yeah, it'll be cool when the kids are a little bit older and they can get involved for sure. That'll make my life easier. But thank you so much for the $11, dude. Bit of a random number there, but okay. I really appreciate it. Like I said, I appreciate all the support I get every week. So yeah, tomorrow night, Army List show. Come hang out. Death Company 100% need a better Feel No Pain. Here's the interesting thing though, Highland, right? Last point of the night. As I say that, I just can't stop painting, so I'm just like paint. Last point of the night then, while we're talking Death Company. Death Company might not... They might have OC0, right? Like they don't control objectives in the current edition, so they might have OC0 in 10th edition. So maybe they can just give them OC0 and just be like, yeah, who cares? They could have shit leadership. Doesn't matter because they don't really care about battle shock because they don't control stuff anyway. So I'm interested to see what we can actually what Death Company could look like. I really think they deserve a better Feel No Pain. I think that's the main thing that I want to see on Death Company. Give them OC0, give them a better Feel No Pain. Maybe Fight on Death. Sure, yeah. Let's get Blood Angel some of that overpowered crap that everybody else gets. Let's have Fight on Death on the Death Company. That's what I want. Yes, Stephen. Yes, let's see. That's what we need as the Blood Angels. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching tonight. Enjoy your evening. I'll catch you tomorrow night. Take care. Peace.